introduce to you today former Governor of Minnesota, Tim Pawlenty, Republican candidate for president. Governor Pawlenty is one of 5 children from South St. Paul. His father was a truck driver. His mother passed away when he was 16. He was the first member of his family to graduate from college, earning his law degree from the University of Minnesota. It was there that he met his wife, Mary. He was elected to the Eagan City Council in 1989 and on to the Minnesota House of Representatives in 1992, where he quickly rose to become the Republican majority leader. He was elected governor in 2002 and re-elected in 2006. As governor, Tim Pawlenty vetoed over $7 billion in proposed taxes, balanced every budget, and cut spending in real terms for the first time in Minnesota history. Tim Pawlenty also has a strong pro-life record. During his time in office, the number of abortions in Minnesota dropped 14% to a 35-year low. He has a proven track record of results in a liberal state. Please join me in giving a warm Clear Lake welcome to Governor Tim Pawlenty.
Thanks for coming out this afternoon. I really appreciate it. Caroline, thank you for that gracious introduction and generous introduction. If you don't know Caroline, she is a mom of 2 young children. She's a business person. She went to law school, met her wonderful husband there. And I really appreciate your hospitality and your willingness to be here today and introduce me at this event. I wish you could meet my wife, Mary. We just got off a 4th of July weekend. We went fishing together in northern Minnesota. I caught some panfish, but the walleye were elusive in northern Minnesota this weekend. But she can't always come at every one of these campaign trips because we got 2 teenage daughters at home. They both like boys, and one of them drives, so they need souvenirs. But I know she sends her greetings, and you'll see her in Iowa a lot in the coming weeks and months. She's a big part of our effort, big part of my life. She believes what we believe, and I know when you meet her, you're going to like her and realize what a tremendous spouse she is for me, but what a tremendous asset she's going to be for our effort to restore America. I'm running for president because I love this country, and I've got the skills and the experience and the leadership and the record and the beliefs and the values to lead it to a better place. We have a president now who stood before this state and this nation 3+ years ago and made some very big promises. Barack Obama said that if you elect him president, he was going to cut the deficit in half. In fact, after he became president, he said he was going to cut the federal deficit in half in his first term. You know what he did? He broke that promise and he tripled it. And then Barack Obama said, you know, if you pass the stimulus bill or if you don't pass the stimulus bill, you could have unemployment that goes as high as 8%. And now we've had unemployment that went all the way up to 10% and is still at 9% or more. We had President Obama say that we have to have an economy that gets health care fixed and is going to focus on cost containment. In fact, he stood right here in Iowa. I think it was on the night of the last caucuses in Iowa, and he said, you know, we do have to fix health care, but he's going to fix it with an emphasis on cost containment. He said he was against the individual mandate. He promised he was going to work with Republicans to do health care reform the right way. And then he went to Washington, D.C. and broke that promise and did just the opposite and jammed down the throats of the nation, one of the worst pieces of legislation in the modern history of the country. So we're a nation that's sinking in debt. We're a nation that has deficits that are out of control. We have crushing levels of unemployment. We have a federal government that can't seem to live within its means and spends more and more beyond its means every year. And we have a president who now talks about an economy that was going to be the summer of recovery, or the recovery summer. But that was last summer. He talked about the summer of recovery in 2010. And now we have an economy that hasn't gotten substantially better. And in fact, his policies of more taxes, more spending, more regulation, more burdens on our job providers, making it more difficult for families to make ends meet, have failed. He had his chance. And now we need to replace him as president and get somebody in there who can lead this country based not on rhetoric, based not on fancy speeches, We've had enough of that. We've seen the entertainment factor. We've seen what happens when you put a community organizer into office with no executive experience, who hadn't really run anything or done anything. Then you make him President of the United States, and then the country now sits back and sees the damage that's been done. But it's not too late. We can restore this country. But it's going to take all of us working together, and it's going to take strong, clear leadership about a better way forward. Now, the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of big issues that the country's facing, and Republican candidates are going to roll through town and tell you many of the same things. If another candidate on the Republican side were standing right here, they'd probably get up and say, hey, look, I'm for reducing taxes, I'm for reducing spending, I'm for reforming the schools, not just putting more money in, but getting better results. I'm for doing health care the right way. I'm for making sure that we get jobs going and get the economy going again. I'm for being tough on terrorism. I'm for reforming public employee pensions and benefits. And a lot of the same words would come out of the mouths of the same candidates. But a question I think you want to know for the next President of the United States and the nominee of our party is, have they actually done this stuff? Are we going to put somebody forward as a nominee? Is Iowa going to maintain its leadership place in terms of the wisdom and selection of the candidate who can not just be good that day in Iowa, but can be our party's nominee and can be President of the United States? And has this person actually got it done? And so one of the things I want to emphasize to you today is I'm a person that's about making sure we get this stuff done, and it's about record, not just rhetoric. And we've got wonderful people who come through town and give great speeches, but the fact of the matter is the words fall flat, as we saw with Barack Obama, if they don't have the skills, the ability, the fortitude, the experience, the judgment, the values, and the beliefs, and the strength to actually get it done. And I put my record out before you as the governor of the state of Minnesota, and as you know, this is not an easy place to be a conservative. Some of you will remember this is the land of Walter Mondale, and Hubert Humphrey, and Paul Wellstone, and now we have United States Senator Al Franken. And I got elected and re-elected in this state as a conservative. And so when you go down the list, we took spending in Minnesota from historic highs to historic lows. We cut taxes net during my 8 years as governor, even though there were 2 recessions during that time. We fixed our schools and have some of the best school results in the nation, and did things like having one of the first states in the country to move from seniority pay to performance pay for teachers, and taking on the teacher unions and what amounts to a political World War III to get that done. We did public employee pension and benefit and pay reform before it was cool and popular, including having one of the longest transit strikes in the history of the country. We shut down the bus system in the Twin Cities, the 15th largest metropolitan area in the country, for 44 days because our bus drivers thought they should be able to work just 15 years and then qualify for lifetime health care benefits paid for by the taxpayer. Now, I don't know about you, but how many of you in this room, if you're not in government, get to work 15 years and then have your health care paid for the rest of your life? Anybody? That's the same answer I got all over Minnesota during that strike. And first the bus driver said, Governor, you know, we're going to break your will. We're going to win this. And I went around the state and I said to people, you know, just what I just asked you, how many of you get health care after 15 years of work? No hands ever went up. I said, you know, the bus drivers get that? They do? Do you know that you're paying for that? We are? You think we should shut that off? Heck yeah, Governor, we should shut that off. They're ready to come down to the Capitol and kick the door in right behind me. So we stood down, we stared down the bus drivers for 44 days.